I stared at my laptop screen. The number didn't make sense. Account balance, $12,247.83. It should have been $800,000. Give or take a few dollars. Not 12,000. Not possible. Banks make mistakes. Systems glitch. I'm a software architect. I know how these things break. I refreshed. Same number. Logged out. Logged back in. Same number. My hands started shaking. My name is Lauren Mitchell. I'm 38. Senior software architect at a tech company in Boston. I make decent money. 6 figures. Not rich, but comfortable. I've been married to Derek for 10 years. He's 40. Sells luxury cars. High-end dealership in Back Bay. Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Aston Martins. He loves cars. Obsessed with them. We have 3 in our garage. Well, his garage. I don't drive them. Ferrari 488. Red. His baby. Aston Martin. DB11. Silver. His weekend car. Porsche 911 GT3. Black. His daily driver, though he barely drives it daily. Total value. Around $850,000. Give or take. I paid our mortgage. Our bills. Our food. Our insurance. Everything. Derek's salary. Went to his cars. Maintenance. Modifications. Detailing. Gas. Insurance. Car shows. I didn't mind. We had an arrangement. I handled life. He handled his passion. It worked, or I thought it did. 6 months ago, my grandmother died. Nani, the woman who raised me. My parents divorced when I was 5. Mom worked 3 jobs. Nani stepped in. Took care of me. Fed me. Loved me. Taught me everything that mattered. She wasn't rich. Worked as a seamstress her whole life. But she saved. Every penny. Every dollar. For me. When she died, she left me everything. $800,000. Her will was specific. For Lauren's dream real estate investment. So she can have the life I always wanted for her. Nani knew I'd wanted to buy property. Rental income. Investment. Freedom. We'd talked about it for years. Cape Cod. Waterfront. Something beautiful. Something that would generate income while I worked. She'd made it possible. One last gift. One last act of love. I'd cried for a week. Not because of the money. Because I'd never get to thank her. Never get to show her the house I'd buy. Never get to hug her again. The money went into a joint account. Temporarily, while I researched properties. Compared markets. Built spreadsheets. I'm methodical. Always have been. Derek used to joke about it. You're so boring, Lauren. Just pick a house. Who needs spreadsheets? But that's who I am. Careful. Deliberate. Strategic. I'd been looking for 6 months. Visiting open houses. Checking rental rates. Running numbers. Finally, I'd found it. Perfect property. Cape Cod. Waterfront. 3 bedrooms. 2 baths. Rental potential $4,000 a month in summer. $2,000 off-season price. $650,000. I'd scheduled an appointment with the seller. Tomorrow, I'd planned to wire the deposit. $50,000. Good faith, so I'd logged into the account. To initiate the transfer. And found $12,000 where $800,000 should have been. Before we continue, if you're drawn to stories about people who discover betrayal, and choose strategy over emotion, who prove that being underestimated is someone else's mistake, who show that intelligence always defeats arrogance, hit that subscribe button. More stories like Lauren's are coming. Real stakes, real consequences, real justice. You won't want to miss them. Now, back to what I found next. I pulled up the transaction history. 6 months of statements. The withdrawals started immediately after the deposit. November 15th, $15,000. The Langham Hotel, Boston. November 18th, $8,500. L'Espalier Restaurant, November 22nd, $22,000. 15 Beacon Hotel, Boston, November 30th, $12,000. Tiffany & Co., on and on, page after page. Hundreds of transactions, hotels, restaurants, jewelry stores, boutiques, wine shops, all luxury, all expensive, all places I'd never been. December, $145,000 spent. January, $132,000 spent. February, $168,000 spent. March, $181,000 spent. April, $162,000 spent. 6 months, $788,000. Gone. I'm a software architect. Pattern recognition is literally my job. I opened a spreadsheet, started categorizing, analyzing. Hotels, same 3 properties. The Langham, 15 Beacon, Castle Hill Inn in Newport. Restaurants, same 5, all Michelin-starred, all expensive. Purchases, Tiffany, Cartier, Gucci, Hermes. Every hotel reservation. To guests, suites, upgrades, premium, everything. I Googled the hotels, pulled up staff directories, PR departments. The Langham, Sienna Hayes, PR manager. 15 Beacon, Sienna Hayes, PR coordinator, previous position. Castle Hill Inn, Sienna Hayes listed on LinkedIn as luxury hotel marketing consultant. I opened LinkedIn, found her profile, 29 years old, pretty polished, professional photos at hotel events, charity galas, industry conferences. I opened Instagram, public profile, careless photos of hotel suites, champagne, ocean views, designer bags, and Derek, my husband, in multiple photos, smiling, holding her, kissing her, posted publicly, tagged locations, dated November through April, 6 months, matching my bank statements exactly. I closed my laptop, sat there, silent. I should have cried, should have screamed, should have thrown something. But I didn't. I felt cold, analytical, detached. This was a problem. Problems have solutions. I'd find one. I heard the garage door open. Derek was home. He walked in, whistling happy, carrying shopping bags, Louis Vuitton for him, probably. He loved designer things. Hey babe, good day. I looked at him. This man I'd been married to for 10 years. This man who'd spent my grandmother's inheritance on another woman. Where did the $800,000 go? He stopped, frozen, then recovered, smiled. Casual. What do you mean? Nani's inheritance. It's gone. Where is it? Oh, that. I spent some of it. We spent it on us. We experiences life. You were always so focused on work. I figured someone should enjoy the money. I never went to the Langham, or 15 Beacon, or Castle Hill. In his face changed, guarded, defensive. You were busy. I went with friends. Friends named Sienna Hayes. Silence, heavy, confirming. That's none of your business. You spent my grandmother's money on another woman. That's absolutely my business. That money was ours. Marital property. Joint account. I had every right. Nani's will specify it was for me. For real estate investment. You stole it. I didn't steal anything. Don't be dramatic. You're always so dramatic about money. I want a divorce. He laughed. Actually laughed. Over money. You're going to throw away 10 years over money. Over theft. Over betrayal. Over you spending $788,000 on hotels and another woman, while I paid for everything in our actual life. You're overreacting. We'll see what a judge says about that. We had dinner plans that night. With friends, Tessa and her husband Mark. Another couple, Rob and Christine. Reservation at Atlantic Fish Company. 7 p.m. I almost canceled. Then didn't. Better this way. Public witnesses. Derek wanted to cancel. Let's talk about this privately. No. We're going. We drove separately. He took the Porsche. I took my Honda. At the restaurant, everyone was already seated, smiling, happy, normal. Lauren, Derek. Finally, Tessa stood, hugged me. Best friends since college. She knew me better than anyone. She saw my face. You okay? We'll talk after. We sat, ordered drinks, appetizers, small talk, weather, work, vacation plans. I waited until entrees arrived, until everyone was settled, comfortable. Then I pulled out my phone, opened my email. The one I'd sent myself. With attachments. I need to tell you all something. Derek's face went white. Lauren, don't. Derek spent my grandmother's inheritance. $800,000. In 6 months, on luxury hotels. And another woman, silence, absolute. Shocked, I passed my phone to Tessa. Bank statements visible, highlighted. She scrolled, eyes widening. Derek, what the hell? This is private, he said, voice tight, angry. Between us, not anymore. I pulled up Instagram on my phone, Sienna's profile. Photos of Derek. Her name is Sienna Hayes. She works at the hotels he's been staying at. With my grandmother's money. Christine gasped. Lauren, I'm so sorry. Rob stared at Derek. Dude, seriously. Derek stood, voice loud, defensive. Your grandmother's money wasn't even real wealth. Lauren, I was doing us a favor, experiencing actual luxury instead of hoarding it like you planned. You're too boring and middle class to understand what matters. That money was wasted sitting in an account. I gave it purpose. The entire restaurant seemed to stop. People at nearby tables turned, stared. Tessa stood. Derek, you're a piece of shit. Stay out of this. No, you stole from your wife, from her dead grandmother, and you're calling her boring. You're pathetic. Mark stood too. We should go. Derek pointed at me. This isn't over. You can't just divorce me. That money was marital property. I'll fight you. You'll get nothing. I stood, calm, cold. I'll get everything. Because you're a thief. And everyone here just witnessed you admit it. I walked out. Tessa followed. Outside I finally shook. Adrenaline, anger, relief. Lauren, Jesus. Are you okay? No, but I will be. What are you going to do? I'm going to destroy him, legally, completely. He thinks I'm boring. He's about to learn exactly how strategic boring can be. That night, I sat in my car, in the restaurant parking lot. Couldn't drive yet. Too shaky, I pulled up my phone. Searched, divorce attorney Boston fraud. Top result, Jennifer Park, Esquire. Specializes in divorce involving financial fraud and asset concealment. I called. After hours. Expected voicemail. A woman answered. Jennifer Park, Ms. Park. My name is Lauren Mitchell. My husband stole $800,000 from me. Spent it on another woman. I need a divorce. And I need him to pay. Can you help me? Pause. Then, yes, I can absolutely help you. Come to my office tomorrow morning. 8 a.m. Bring every document you have. Bank statements. The will. Everything. We're going to make him regret ever underestimating you. Thank you, Lauren. One question. How angry are you? Very good. Angry is focused. Angry is strategic. Angry gets results. See you tomorrow. I drove home. Derek wasn't there. Good. I went to my office. Printed everything. Bank statements. Hotel receipts. Instagram screenshots. LinkedIn profiles. Transaction histories. 6 months of evidence. $788,000. Documented. Categorized. Undeniable. Derek thought I was boring. Too middle class, too practical. He'd spent a decade living off my income. Buying cars. Playing. Being charming. I'd let him. Because I'd loved him. Because I'd thought we were partners. I'd been wrong. He'd stolen from me. From Nani's memory. From her sacrifice. Her love. He'd called it not real wealth. Called me boring for wanting to invest it wisely. He was about to learn that boring people keep receipts, build cases, win in court. I looked at the documents spread across my desk. Evidence of betrayal, theft, arrogance. Derek had 3 cars, worth $850,000. His entire identity, his passion, his life. Tomorrow, I'd start the process of taking every single one of them, not for revenge, for justice, for Nani, for me. Derek thought I was too boring to fight back. He was wrong. And he was going to find out exactly how wrong very soon. Jennifer Park's office was in downtown Crossing, 11th floor. Glass windows overlooking Boston Common. I arrived at 7:55 a.m., early, nervous, carrying a banker's box full of documents. The receptionist smiled. Ms. Mitchell, Ms. Park is expecting you. Go right in. Jennifer Park stood when I entered. Mid-40s. Sharp suit, sharp eyes, confident handshake. Lauren, sit. Let's see what we're working with. I placed the box on her desk, started pulling out files, bank statements, hotel receipts, Instagram screenshots, LinkedIn profiles. The will. Jennifer went through everything methodically, reading, highlighting, taking notes. After 20 minutes, she looked up. This is a prosecutor's dream. Everything documented, time-stamped, traceable. Your husband is an idiot. He thought I wouldn't notice, or wouldn't care. Why would he think that? Because I'm boring. His words. Too practical, too focused on work. He spent 10 years treating me like a bank account. I let him. Why? Because I loved him. Because I thought that's what marriage was. Compromise, support, letting him have his passion. His passion for cars, 3 of them. Ferrari, Aston Martin, Porsche. Worth about $850,000 total. Jennifer smiled. Tell me about those cars. He's obsessed. They're his identity. He bought them during our marriage. With money he saved from his salary. But his entire salary went to cars. I paid for everything else. Mortgage, bills, food, insurance, everything. So technically, he only saved money for cars, because you subsidized his entire life. Yes, and these cars, titles in his name, joint names, Massachusetts law. Everything acquired during marriage is marital property, unless specified otherwise. Smart woman. So those cars are 50% yours. Legally. Can we take them better? We can argue they're 100% yours. Because they were purchased with savings only possible due to your financial support. And given he spent your $800,000 inheritance, taking his $850,000 in cars is equitable distribution. Will a judge actually do that? If we prove your inheritance was separate property with designated use, absolutely. Let me see the will again. She read through Nani's will carefully. Stopped at one section. Highlighted it. Here. This bequest of $800,000 is made specifically to my granddaughter, Lauren Mitchell, for the express purpose of purchasing investment real estate, fulfilling her lifelong dream. That's not ambiguous. That's designated separate property. Even in a joint account. Its purpose was specified. Your husband converting it to personal use is fraud. Criminal fraud. Potentially. But civil fraud is easier to prove and more useful to us. We sue for conversion. Illegal diversion of designated funds. Then we use his assets, those cars, as compensation. He'll fight. Those cars are everything to him. Good. Let him fight. Every time he argues how much those cars mean to him, he proves how much taking them will hurt. That's justice. We spent 3 hours building the case. Jennifer was methodical, strategic. Exactly what I needed. I need you to do something for me, she said. Forensic accounting. Can you create a detailed timeline? Every transaction, every hotel stay, every purchase, cross-referenced with Sienna Hayes' whereabouts. I'm a software architect. I can build whatever you need. Perfect. Also, I want to know everything about Sienna. Employment history, social media, everything. We're not suing her, but we're going to make her life uncomfortable. How she works in luxury hotel PR. She gave your husband discounts, upgrades, access, using her position. That's misconduct. Maybe fraud. Her employer needs to know. You want me to report her? I want you to send an anonymous tip, facts only. Let her employer investigate. She helped steal from you. She should face consequences too. Won't that seem vindictive? It's accountability. She knew he was married. Instagram posts prove that. She facilitated an affair using company resources. That's fireable. Let her employer decide. I spent the next week building the case. Spreadsheets, timelines, data visualization. Every transaction mapped. Every hotel stay documented. Every Instagram post archived. The pattern was undeniable. Derek and Sienna. 6 months, 23 hotel stays. 47 restaurant visits. $83,000 at Tiffany alone. My grandmother's money, spent on another woman, while I worked 70-hour weeks, paid our bills, believed my marriage was solid. I'd been so stupid, so trusting, so boring. No, Not boring, loyal, faithful, honest. Derek was the problem, not me. On day 8, I sent the anonymous email from a burner account. Untraceable. Subject: Employee misconduct. Sienna Hayes body. Sienna Hayes, PR manager, has been providing unauthorized hotel upgrades and discounts to a personal romantic partner using company resources. Attached are receipts showing preferential rates not available to standard guests, suite upgrades without payment, and VIP services provided to someone with no business relationship to your hotel group. This has been ongoing for 6 months. Please investigate. I attached 20 receipts showing VIP rates, complimentary upgrades, manager discretion discounts, all signed off by Sienna Hayes. I hit send, closed the laptop, done. 2 days later, Jennifer filed the divorce petition and fraud lawsuit simultaneously. Combined filing, maximum impact. The sheriff's deputy served Derek at work, at the dealership, in front of his coworkers, his boss, his clients. Public, humiliating, intentional. Derek called me 30 minutes later, screaming, "You had me served at WORK. Where else? At one of your girlfriend's hotels. This is insane. You're suing me. For theft, for fraud, for conversion of designated funds. Yes, that money was marital property. We're married. What's yours is mine. Read the lawsuit. Read Nanis will. That money was designated for a specific purpose. You stole it. You committed fraud. Now you're paying for it. With what? I don't have $800,000. No, but you have cars. 3 of them, worth $850. Close enough. Silence. Then, you can't take my cars. Watch me. Those cars are my life, my passion. You can't. You spent my grandmother's legacy on hotel rooms and another woman. You called me boring. Middle class. Said her money wasn't real wealth. Remember, I was angry. I didn't mean yes, you did. You meant every word. And now you're facing consequences. Real consequences. Legal consequences. I'll fight this. I'll get a lawyer. You won't win. I already hired the best divorce attorney in Boston. Specializes in financial fraud. She says we have an ironclad case. But please, fight. Spend more money you don't have. Make this worse for yourself. He hung up. I sat there, calm, satisfied. This was happening. Tessa came over that night. Wine, pizza, support. How are you? Good, really good. Focused. You don't seem upset. You seem ... cold. I'm furious. But fury doesn't help. Strategy helps. Action helps. I'm channeling everything into destroying him legally. That's scary. Good. He should be scared. He thought I was too boring to fight back. Too weak. Too accommodating. He was wrong. What happens next? Discovery. We subpoena his financial records, bank statements, dealership records, car titles. Every detail of his life gets examined. Then we go to court. And I take everything. The cars, all 3. And the house. And his savings. Whatever's left. What about Sienna? Handled. I sent her employer evidence of misconduct. Unauthorized discounts. Upgrades. Using company resources for personal benefit. Let's see how that goes. It went fast. 4 days after my anonymous email, Sienna called me, number blocked. I almost didn't answer. Hello Lauren, it's Sienna. Please don't hang up. Why would I talk to you? Because I need you to know I didn't know he was married. Not at first. He told me he was divorced, separated. I didn't know until I don't believe you. And I don't care. You helped him steal from me. I didn't know it was your money. You knew he was spending hundreds of thousands on hotels. You didn't question it. He said he was wealthy. Successful. I thought you'd found a sugar daddy. Someone to pay for your lifestyle. Upgrade your life. You were using him. Just like he was using me. That's not fair. You're calling me about fairness. You helped him spend my dead grandmother's inheritance. You posted photos on Instagram. Public. Tagged locations. Showed off. And now you want sympathy. I lost my job. They fired me. For misconduct. Someone sent them evidence. Good. You deserved it. You used your position to facilitate an affair, to give him discounts, upgrades, access. That's fraud. You should have been fired. That was you. You sent the email. Prove it. Silence. Then, what do you want from me? Nothing. Stay away from Derek. Stay away from me. Face your consequences. Like I'm facing mine. Your consequences. You're suing him. You're taking everything. He stole from me. I'm taking back equivalent value. That's justice. Not revenge. Justice. He said you were boring, cold, that you never appreciated him. He said that to justify cheating, to make himself feel better about being a thief. And you believed him. Because it was convenient. You're not a victim, Sienna. You're an accomplice. Now go deal with your own mess. I hung up, blocked her number. Done. Tessa had listened to the entire call on speaker. Damn. You're scary when you're angry. I'm not angry, I'm focused. There's a difference. She lost her job. She earned that. She committed misconduct. Her employer had every right to fire her. I just provided information. They made the decision. Derek's going to freak out. She was his escape. His fantasy. Now she's jobless and desperate. He'll blame you. Let him blame me. He's about to have bigger problems. Discovery started 2 weeks later. Jennifer subpoenaed everything. Derek's bank records, credit cards, dealership employment records, car titles, insurance policies, tax returns. The data was damning, clear, undeniable. All 3 cars purchased during marriage, titles in joint names, financed initially, then paid off using savings. But Derek's savings only existed because I paid for everything else. Mortgage, property tax, utilities, food, health insurance, car insurance, everything. His entire $60,000 salary after taxes went to cars, maintenance, gas, modifications, shows, storage. For 10 years, Jennifer built a financial model. Showed exactly how much I'd subsidized Derek's lifestyle. Total, $720,000 over 10 years. Without your income, Jennifer explained, he couldn't have afforded these cars. You enabled them. You financed them indirectly. They're yours as much as his. More, actually. Will a judge see it that way? Yes, especially given he stole your inheritance. A judge will see justice in transferring his cars to you. It's proportional. It's equitable. It's karma. Derek hired an attorney. Gerald Shaw. Cheap, strip mall office. Overconfident. Shaw filed a response. Denied everything. Claimed the inheritance was marital property. Claimed Derek had every right to spend it. Claimed the cars were his separate property. Jennifer laughed when she read it. This is amateur hour. Shaw has no idea what he's doing. What happens now? Depositions. He depositions you. I deposition Derek. We get everything on record. Under oath. Then we go to trial. How long? 3 months, maybe 4. We're fast-tracking this. Judge already approved expedited discovery given the fraud allegations. My deposition was first. Shaw questioned me for 3 hours. Tried to paint me as vindictive, controlling, boring. Ms. Mitchell, isn't it true you controlled all finances in your marriage? I paid the bills. Derek spent his salary on cars. You disapproved of his car collection. No, I enabled it. For 10 years. By paying for everything else. You're angry he spent marital funds without consulting you. I'm angry he stole my grandmother's designated inheritance and spent it on another woman. Yes, but you put that money in a joint account. You gave him access, temporarily, while I researched properties. The will specified its purpose. He knew that. Did you ever explicitly tell him not to spend it? I shouldn't have to tell my husband not to steal my dead grandmother's money. That's baseline human decency. Shaw had no response to that. Derek's deposition was a disaster. For him, Jennifer was surgical, precise, relentless. Mr. Mitchell, did you read your wife's grandmother's will? I saw it. Briefly, did it specify the money was for real estate investment? It mentioned that, but plans change. Did your wife change that plan? No, But did you discuss spending the money with her before you spent it? No, it was in a joint account. I had access. Access doesn't mean permission. Did you have permission? I'm her husband. I don't need permission. So you believed you could spend her designated inheritance without asking? Yes, and you spent it on hotels. With Sienna Hayes, your girlfriend. She wasn't my girlfriend. Jennifer showed him Instagram photos. Him kissing Sienna, holding her, captioned, "My love and paradise" with him. Still not your girlfriend? Derek's face reddened. That's private. Not when it's posted publicly. Not when it's paid for with stolen money. How much did you spend at the Langham? I don't remember. $135,000. In 3 months. Do you remember that? It was a nice hotel. It was your wife's inheritance, spent on another woman. While your wife paid your mortgage, your food, your bills, everything. I contribute to the marriage. How? By buying cars, by cheating, by stealing. Those cars are mine. I earned them. With what money? Your $60,000 salary. While living in a house your wife pays for. I saved. You saved because your wife subsidized your entire life. Every dollar you saved was possible because she paid for everything else. Those cars aren't yours. They're hers. You just drove them. Derek stood. I'm done. This is harassment. Sit down, Mr. Mitchell. We're not finished. Tell me about these cars. Why do they matter so much to you? They're my passion. My identity. They're all I have. They're all you have because you spent your wife's $800,000 on hotels. Correct. Derek sat. Silent. Defeated. Jennifer leaned forward. Your cars or your wife's inheritance. You can't have both. Which one matters more? That's not fair. Your wife's grandmother saved her entire life, left money specifically for a dream. You spent it on hotel rooms. That's not fair. So answer the question. Your cars or her inheritance? Derek looked down. My cars. Thank you. That's all I needed to hear. That night, Jennifer called me. We won. Functionally, he admitted under oath he values his cars more than your inheritance. Judge will see that as unrepentant, callous. We're getting those cars. When trial is in 6 weeks, Suffolk County Court, Judge Margaret Chen, she's fair, tough, hates financial fraud. We're going to win. What if we don't? We will. But even if we didn't, which we won't, to lose nothing. He loses everything. His cars. His mistress. His reputation. That's already happening. The serving at work. The deposition. Everyone knows now. He's humiliated. Good Lord, how do you feel? Really? Sad, angry, betrayed, but also, powerful. For the first time in years, I'm not accommodating, not compromising, not being boring. I'm fighting, and winning, and it feels good. That's the spirit. See you in court. 6 weeks. 42 days. Until Derek lost everything. I'd spent 10 years being the supportive wife. The provider. The boring one. I'd loved him. Enabled him. Trusted him. He'd repaid me by stealing my grandmother's legacy. By spending it on another woman. By calling me boring. Middle class. Insignificant. He'd underestimated me. Thought I'd cry, beg, forgive. He was wrong. I was strategic, prepared, represented by the best. In 6 weeks, a judge would take his cars, his identity, his pride, not because I was vindictive, because actions have consequences. Derek had spent a decade treating me like a bank account. Now he'd learn exactly how expensive that mistake was. $850,000 expensive, plus court costs, plus attorney fees, plus humiliation. He thought I was boring. Too practical to fight back. He was about to learn that boring people keep receipts, build ironclad cases, win in court, and take everything. 4 weeks until trial, 28 days. Derek was unraveling. I could see it, feel it, sense it. He'd moved out. Jennifer had insisted. Separation of assets. Cleaner for court. Make him leave. He'd rented a studio apartment in Alston. Cheap, small, 1 parking space, for 3 cars. He rotated them. Ferrari 1 week, Aston Martin the next. Portia the third. Left the other two in paid storage. Expensive. Complicated. Exactly what he deserved. I stayed in the house. Our house. My house. Technically. Mortgage in my name. Down payment from my savings. Payments from my income. Derek had contributed nothing. For 10 years. Jennifer had filed for exclusive occupancy. Granted immediately. Judge saw the financials. Saw who paid for what. Made the obvious decision. Derek got his clothes, his toiletries, his car keys, nothing else. The house was mine. Legally. Temporarily. Soon permanently. 3 weeks before trial, Derek tried reconciliation. Showed up unannounced. Saturday morning, 9 a.m. I was drinking coffee, working on my laptop, reviewing case files, evidence, timelines. Doorbell rang. I checked the camera. Derek, looking rough, unshaven, tired, desperate. I opened the door. Didn't invite him in. What do you want? To talk, please. 5 minutes. Talk. Can I come in? No. He stood on the porch, awkward, diminished. Lauren, I'm sorry. For everything, the money, Sienna, all of it. I was stupid, selfish, wrong, but we're married. 10 years. That has to mean something. It meant something. Past tense. You destroyed it. We can rebuild. Go to therapy. Start over. I'll pay you back. I'll figure it out. With what money? You spent everything. You have no savings, no assets except the cars. And those are mine now. They're not yours yet. The trial hasn't happened. It will, in 3 weeks, and you'll lose. What if I don't? What if the judge sides with me? He won't. You admitted under oath you stole my inheritance, spent it on another woman. That's fraud. The evidence is overwhelming. You're going to lose. Accept it. Those cars are my life, Lauren. My identity. Without them, I'm nothing. You should have thought about that before you stole from me. I'll sell one, pay you back, keep the other two. We can settle, avoid trial. No, why not? You'd get money. I'd keep something. Everyone wins. I don't want one car's worth. I want justice. I want you to lose everything. Like you made me lose everything. I didn't make you lose anything. You still have your job, your house, your life. I lost my grandmother's legacy. I lost 10 years with a man I thought loved me. I lost my trust, my peace, my sense of safety. You took everything that mattered. Now I'm taking everything that matters to you. That's vindictive. That's proportional. You valued your cars more than my inheritance. You said so. Under oath. So now you lose what you value. That's justice. Sienna left me. Did you know that? She won't return my calls. Won't see me. She used me. And you used me. For 10 years. As a bank account. A safety net. A boring wife who'd pay the bills while you played with cars and girlfriends. We both got used. Derek. Difference is, I'm getting compensation. You're getting nothing. I loved you once. No, you loved my stability, my income, my willingness to subsidize your fantasy life. That's not love. That's exploitation. Please don't take my cars. Take the house. Take my savings. Take whatever. But leave me my cars. You don't have savings. You don't have anything except cars. And those are mine. The judge will confirm it in 3 weeks. Now leave. Lauren, leave. Or I call the police. You're not supposed to be here. Exclusive occupancy. You're violating court order. He left, defeated, broken. I watched him drive away. In the Ferrari, red, gleaming beautiful. For 3 more weeks. Then gone. Mine, sold. Converted to what it should have been. My grandmother's legacy. My dream. My property. 2.5 weeks before trial, Derek's attorney attempted a settlement offer. Third one. Increasingly desperate Gerald Shaw called Jennifer. I listened on speaker. Ms. Park. My client would like to propose a settlement. He'll transfer one vehicle to Mrs. Mitchell. The Porsche value approximately $190,000, plus $50,000 cash. Total $240,000 in exchange. She drops the fraud claim and accepts a standard divorce settlement. Jennifer laughed. Your client stole $788,000. You're offering 240. That's 30%. Try again. My client doesn't have 788,000. The money's spent, gone. We're offering what's available. He has 3 cars. Total value 850,000. Transfer all 3. We'll call it even. That's his entire collection. His life's work. We can't agree to that. Then we go to trial. The judge will order the same thing. Except your client will also pay court costs, attorney fees, and be publicly humiliated. Again, your choice. Let me talk to my client. 20 minutes later, Shaw called back. He refuses. He'll take his chances with the judge. Understood. See you in court. Jennifer hung up, looked at me. He's delusional, thinks he can charm a judge. Win on personality. He's going to get destroyed. What if he doesn't? What if he convinces the judge he's reformed? Sorry, Lauren. He admitted under oath he values cars more than your inheritance. He showed zero remorse. He blamed you for being boring. The deposition transcript is damning. We're winning, guaranteed. 2 weeks before trial, Sienna resurfaced. Not to me, to Derek. Publicly, Tessa sent me the link. Instagram story, Sienna's account, video, 30 seconds. Devastating, Sienna crying, mascara running, voice shaking. I need to tell my truth. I was involved with a married man. Derek Mitchell. He told me he was divorced. Separated. I believed him. He spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on me. Hotels, gifts, experiences. I'd throw he was wealthy, successful. I thought I'd found someone real. But it was all a lie. He was married. The money wasn't his. It was his wife's inheritance. Stolen. And now I've lost my job, my reputation. Everything because I trusted him. If you're seeing this, Derek, you're a liar, a thief, a manipulator, and I hope you get exactly what you deserve. The video had 50,000 views, hundreds of comments. Wow, what a scumbag, his poor wife. You dodged a bullet. Sienna, he deserves to lose everything. Derek's reputation, destroyed, publicly, permanently. I felt nothing, no satisfaction, no vindication, just cold acknowledgement. This was happening, karma was real. 10 days before trial, the judge issued a pretrial order, assets frozen. Neither party could sell, transfer, or modify any significant assets without court approval. Derek couldn't sell the cars, couldn't hide them, couldn't transfer titles. They were locked, waiting, suspended in legal limbo until the judge decided their fate. Jennifer called to tell me. We requested the asset freeze. Judge granted it. Derek's cars are going nowhere. Physically or legally, he's stuck. Can he still drive them? Technically, but he can't sell. Can't give them away. Can't do anything except wait for trial. What's he going to do? Panic. That's my guess. 1 week before trial, Derek's panic manifested. He called me late, 11 p.m., drunk, crying, Lauren, please, I'm begging you, don't do this. Don't take my cars. They're all I have, all I am. Without them, I'm nothing. You should have thought about that before you stole from me. I'll do anything. Anything. Just let me keep one. The Ferrari, please. I'll sign over everything else. The Aston Martin, the Porsche, the house, my savings, my retirement, everything. Just let me keep the Ferrari. No. Why? Why are you being so cruel? I'm not cruel. I'm just. You stole my grandmother's legacy, spent it on another woman, humiliated me publicly, and now you want mercy. You want me to give you the one thing you love most. Why would I do that? Because you loved me once. Because we were married. Because 10 years has to mean something. It does mean something. It means I wasted 10 years on a narcissist. A thief. A liar. That's what it means. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know I hurt you. I know I destroyed us. But please, have mercy. I can't lose my cars. I can't. You already lost them. You lost them the moment you spent my inheritance. This is just the formality. The legal confirmation. You did this to yourself. I'll kill myself. If you take my cars, I'll kill myself. I swear. Don't manipulate me. If you're suicidal, call a hotline. Call a therapist. But don't threaten suicide to keep stolen assets. That's disgusting. You don't care. You never cared. You're cold, heartless, boring. I was right about you, and I was right about you. You're a thief, a narcissist, an empty man obsessed with expensive toys. Goodbye, Derek. I hung up. Blocked his number. Done. 3 days before trial, Jennifer received an email from Shaw. Derek wanted to testify, to explain himself, to show remorse. He thinks he can perform, Jennifer said. Cry, apologize, win sympathy. He's wrong. Every word he says will bury him deeper. Let him testify. It's a gift. What if it works? What if the judge believes him? Lauren, you've given me 6 months of documented evidence. Bank statements, hotel receipts, Instagram posts, depositions, timeline analysis. I have everything. And he has excuses. Judges don't rule on excuses. They rule on evidence. We're bulletproof. I'm scared. Don't be. You've already won. This trial is just the announcement. 2 days before trial, I couldn't sleep. Anxiety, anticipation, fear, excitement, everything at once. Tessa stayed over. Brought wine. Take out. Support. You okay? No. Yes. I don't know. What if I lose? You won't lose. You have evidence. Documentation. A brilliant attorney. Derek has excuses and narcissism. You're winning. What if the judge feels sorry for him, sees him as a flawed man who made mistakes, gives him a second chance? Then the legal system is broken, but it's not. Judges see men like Derek every day. Cheaters, thieves, narcissists who blame their wives for their failures. They don't fall for it. Chen won't fall for it. You're safe. I want my grandmother's dream back. The house in Cape Cod, the rental income, the peace. That's all I wanted. That's all she wanted for me. You'll get it. By Friday, you'll have 3 cars. You'll sell them, buy your house, live your dream. Derek will have nothing. Exactly what he deserves. I don't feel victorious. I feel sad. I wasted 10 years on him. I trusted him, loved him, and he stole from me. How did I not see it? Because he was good at hiding, good at performing, good at making you feel boring for wanting stability. That's what narcissists do. They gaslight you into thinking you're the problem. But you weren't. He was. And now he's paying. The night before trial, I sat in my office, surrounded by evidence, documents, photos, timelines, 10 years of marriage, 6 months of theft, 3 months of legal warfare, all coming to a conclusion tomorrow. 1 trial, 1 judge, 1 decision. Derek would lose his cars. I'd lose my naivety. We'd both lose the marriage. But only one of us would gain justice. I looked at the photo of Nani on my desk, her smiling, proud, loving, the woman who'd saved her entire life for me, for my dream, for my future. I'm going to get it back, I whispered. Your dream, my dream. Tomorrow, I promise. Tomorrow a judge would decide. But I already knew. Evidence doesn't lie. Documents don't manipulate. Numbers don't gaslight. Derek had spent 10 years being charming, charismatic, confident, but charm doesn't win in court. Evidence does. And I had all the evidence. Tomorrow, Derek would lose everything. His cars, his identity, his excuses, and I'd get back what he stole. Not the exact money, but equivalent value, justice, closure. Nani would have been proud, not of the divorce, not of the pain, but of me fighting, standing up, refusing to be dismissed as boring, insignificant, middle class. I was none of those things. I was strategic, prepared, unbreakable. Derek had underestimated me for 10 years. Tomorrow, he'd pay for that mistake, with every car he owned, every shiny, expensive, meaningless status symbol, gone, sold, converted to what mattered, a house, by the ocean, generating income, building wealth, honoring Nani. Tomorrow, 24 hours. Then justice. Finally, trial day. Tuesday, 9 a.m., Suffolk County Courthouse, downtown Boston. I wore navy, professional, simple. Nothing flashy. Jennifer's advice looked like the victim, not the villain. Derek wore a suit, expensive, tailored, trying to look successful, wealthy, worthy of keeping his cars. He looked scared. Judge Margaret Chen entered. Late 50s Asian American, sharp eyes, no-nonsense expression. 20 years on the bench, family court specialist. Seen everything. All rise. We stood, sat when instructed. This is Mitchell versus Mitchell. Divorce with allegations of financial fraud and conversion. Are both parties ready? Yes, Your Honor. Jennifer said. Brady Shaw mumbled. Proceed with opening statements. Jennifer walked to the center, confident, clear. Your Honor. This case is straightforward. Mrs. Mitchell's grandmother left her $800,000. The will explicitly designated that money for real estate investment, quote, for Lauren's dream real estate investment, end quote. Mrs. Mitchell placed the money in a joint account temporarily while researching properties. Her husband, Mr. Mitchell, spent $788,000 of that designated inheritance in 6 months on luxury hotels, expensive restaurants. Another woman, without permission, without discussion. He committed fraud. Conversion of designated separate property. Mrs. Mitchell seeks compensation. Mr. Mitchell has no liquid assets, but he has 3 luxury vehicles worth $850,000, purchased during the marriage, financed by Mrs. Mitchell's income, subsidizing his entire lifestyle. We ask the court to transfer those vehicles to Mrs. Mitchell as equitable compensation for the stolen inheritance. Thank you. Shaw stood, nervous, shuffling papers. Your Honor, my client acknowledges marital difficulties, but the money was in a joint account. Marital property. Mr. Mitchell had legal access. He made purchases he believed were appropriate. The vehicles in question were purchased with his savings over 10 years. They're his separate property. We ask the court to deny the transfer request and issue a standard divorce decree. Thank you. Judge Chen made notes. Call your first witness, Ms. Park. The plaintiff calls Lauren Mitchell. I walked to the witness stand, swore on the Bible, sat, my heart pounded, hands shook slightly. I gripped the armrests, focused. Jennifer approached. Gentle, professional. Mrs. Mitchell, tell the court about your grandmother. Her name was Rose. She raised me. My parents divorced when I was 5. My mom worked constantly. Nani took care of me, fed me, loved me. She was everything. What did she do for work? Seamstress. Alterations. Wedding dresses. 40 years. She saved every penny she could. For me. And when she passed away, last year, she left me $800,000. Her entire life savings. The will specified it was for buying investment property, real estate. It was her dream for me. She wrote it explicitly. For Lauren's dream real estate investment. Those were her exact words. What did you plan to do with the money? Buy a house in Cape Cod, waterfront, rental property, generate income, build wealth. Exactly what she wanted. What happened to the money? My voice cracked. My husband spent it. Almost all of it. $788,000. In 6 months. I didn't know until I tried to buy a property. The account was empty. How did that make you feel? Devastated. Betrayed. That money was Nanny's love, her sacrifice, her legacy, and he threw it away like it meant nothing. Did you give him permission to spend it? Never. He knew it was designated. He knew the plan. He spent it anyway. On what hotels? The Langham 15 Beacon, Castle Hill Inn, 23 stays. All luxury suites, restaurants, Tiffany purchases, all with another woman. Sienna Hayes. Did you know about this relationship? Not until I investigated the transactions. I found her name on receipts. Found her Instagram. Photos of them together. Publicly posted. She worked at the hotels. Gave him discounts, upgrades, using company resources. Your husband called you boring, in front of friends. Do you remember that? Yes. At dinner, he said my grandmother's money wasn't real wealth, that I was too boring and middle class to understand luxury. That he was doing us a favor by spending it on experiences. How did that make you feel? Small, insignificant, like 10 years of supporting him meant nothing, like I was just a bank account to him. No further questions. Shaw stood for cross-examination, tried to look confident, failed. Mrs. Mitchell, you earn significantly more than my client, correct? Yes, I make $145,000. He makes $60,000 base plus commission. So you controlled the finances. I paid the bills. He spent his salary on cars. You resented that. His passion for cars? No, I enabled it. For 10 years, I paid our mortgage, our food, our insurance, everything, so he could spend his entire income on cars. I didn't resent it. I supported it. But you want to take those cars now. I want compensation for the inheritance he stole. Those cars are equivalent value. That's justice. You put the inheritance money in a joint account. You gave him access. Temporarily, while I researched properties. Access doesn't equal permission. He knew that money was designated. He spent it anyway. Isn't it true you're using this lawsuit to punish my client for infidelity? That you're vindictive? I'm using this lawsuit to seek justice for theft. If he'd spent the money on anything else, a business, an investment, even gambling, I'd still be here. It's not about the affair. It's about the stealing. Shaw had nothing. Sat down. Judge Chen called Derek to testify. Shaw's idea. Let him explain. Humanize himself. Show remorse. Derek walked to the stand. Confident stride. Charm on full display. He thought he could win this. I could see it in his face. Shaw questioned him first. Softball questions. Easy answers. Mr. Mitchell, tell the court about your marriage. Lauren and I have been together 10 years. I love her. I made mistakes. I'm not perfect. But I never meant to hurt her. Did you know the inheritance was designated for real estate? She mentioned it. But we're married. What's hers is mine. What's mine is hers. That's how marriage works. Did you spend the money maliciously? Of course not. I spent it on experiences, hotels, travel, fine dining. I thought we could enjoy life. Lauren works so much. I wanted us to have memories, but you spent it with another woman. That was wrong, I admit that. I was weak, lonely. Lauren was always working. I made a terrible mistake, but I'm ready to make amends. Tell the court about your cars. They're my life, my passion. I've spent 10 years building that collection. The Ferrari, the Aston Martin, the Porsche. They're not just cars. They're my identity, my dreams. Losing them would destroy me. No further questions. Jennifer stood. I'd seen her prepare for this. Watched her build the trap. Now she'd spring it. Mr. Mitchell, you said the money was marital property. Did you discuss spending it with your wife before you spent it? Not specifically. But we're married. I didn't think I needed permission. So you made a unilateral decision to spend $800,000 without consulting your wife. I thought she'd be okay with it. Based on what? Had she ever indicated she wanted to spend her inheritance on hotels? No, but yes or no. Did she ever say she wanted to spend that money on anything other than real estate? No. You spent $135,000 at the Langham. Over 3 months. What were you doing there? Staying. Relaxing. With Sienna Hayes. Yes, your girlfriend. She was a friend. Jennifer pulled up exhibits. Photos on a screen. Derek and Sienna. Kissing, in hotel robes. Captions, my love and best weekend ever, and he spoils me. Still just a friend. Derek's face reddened. That's private. It's public. Posted on Instagram. Visible to anyone, including your wife. You humiliated her publicly while spending her inheritance. Correct? I didn't mean yes or no. Yes, at dinner with friends. You called your wife boring, middle class. Said her inheritance wasn't real wealth. Do you remember that? I was angry. You were angry that she discovered your theft. So you insulted her. Publicly. To justify your actions. Correct. I was defensive. Answered the question. Did you insult your wife publicly? Yes. You said you wanted to create memories with her. But you created those memories with another woman. Using money designated for your wife's dream. That's not marriage. That's theft and betrayal. Correct? I made mistakes. Yes or no? Yes. Jennifer pulled up the deposition transcript. In your deposition, I asked you a question. Quote, your cars or your wife's inheritance? Which matters more? Do you remember your answer? Derek looked down. Yes. What was your answer? My cars. You value your cars more than your wife's inheritance, more than her grandmother's legacy, more than her dreams. You said so under oath, correct? I was put on the spot. It was a simple question. You gave an honest answer. You value your possessions more than your wife's loss. True, yes. Tell the court. Why should you keep those cars? Because they're mine. I bought them. I earned them. With what money? Your $60,000 salary. I saved over 10 years. You saved because your wife paid for everything else. Your mortgage, your food, your insurance, your utilities, your property taxes. Everything. You saved because she subsidized your entire life, correct? She made more money. It made sense. How much did Mrs. Mitchell spend on household expenses over 10 years? I don't know. $720,000. I have the records here. Every mortgage payment, every utility bill, every grocery trip. $720,000. Paid by her, while you spent your salary on cars. Does that seem equitable? We had an arrangement where she paid for life and you paid for toys. They're not toys, they're investments. Cars depreciate. They're not investments. They're luxuries. Expensive status symbols. And you funded them by living off your wife's income. Correct. I contributed how? By cheating. By stealing. By insulting her in public. What exactly did you contribute? Derek's hands shook, voice cracked. Those cars are all I have. All I am. Without them, I'm nothing. Mr. Mitchell, you stole $788,000 from your wife. You spent it on another woman. You humiliated your wife publicly. You admitted you value your cars more than her inheritance. And now you're asking this court for mercy. For special treatment, because losing your toys would hurt. Do I have that right? Please, I'm begging. Don't take my cars. You didn't beg when you spent your wife's inheritance. You didn't beg when you booked luxury hotels with another woman. You didn't beg when you called your wife boring and middle class. You only beg now. When consequences arrive. That's not remorse. That's self-pity. No further questions. Judge Chen called recess. 30 minutes. To review evidence. Consider testimony. Make her decision. Jennifer and I sat in the hallway. Silent, waiting. How do you think it went? I asked. Perfect. He buried himself. Admitted everything. Showed zero real remorse. Only cares about his cars. Chen will see right through it. What if she doesn't? She will. Trust me. 20 years on the bench. She's seen 1,000 Dereks. She knows exactly who he is. 32 minutes later, we were called back. Judge Chen sat, stern expression. Notes in front of her. I've reviewed the evidence. Heard testimony. This is my ruling. My heart pounded. Hands gripped the table. This was it. Mr. Mitchell, you committed fraudulent conversion of separate property. Mrs. Mitchell's inheritance was explicitly designated by will for a specific purpose. That designation removes it from marital property classification. Your unauthorized spending constitutes theft. The fact that you spent the money on an extramarital affair demonstrates willful disregard for your marital obligations and your wife's clearly stated wishes. Derek's face went white. You claim the vehicles are your separate property. The evidence shows otherwise. These vehicles were purchased during the marriage, with savings only possible because Mrs. Mitchell paid for all household expenses. Without her financial support, you could not have afforded these vehicles. They are marital property. And given the amount you stole, $788,000, and the value of these vehicles, $850,000, the transfer is proportional, equitable, and just. Therefore, I order the immediate transfer of all three vehicles, the Ferrari 488, the Aston Martin DB11, and the Porsche 911 GT3 to Mrs. Mitchell, as compensation for the stolen inheritance. Titles will be transferred within 48 hours. Failure to comply will result in contempt charges. Additionally, Mr. Mitchell will pay all court costs and Mrs. Mitchell's attorney fees, totaling $21,000, payable within 90 days. The house will be awarded to Mrs. Mitchell. Mortgage is in her name. Down payment from her funds. She will retain sole ownership. Mr. Mitchell, you spent your wife's grandmother's legacy on luxury experiences, hotels, restaurants, gifts for another woman. Now you will surrender your luxury possessions. It's poetic justice. Your choices created these consequences. This court is adjourned. Gavel, done. Derek collapsed in his chair, sobbing. Shaw tried to console him. Failed. Jennifer turned to me. We won. Everything. The cars, all three yours. Legally, in 48 hours. The house, yours. He has no claim. Court costs. He pays $21,000. You pay nothing. I should have felt triumph, victory, joy, but I felt empty, sad. Relieved but not happy. 10 years, gone. A marriage, destroyed. A man I'd loved, reduced to a sobbing stranger. But justice. Finally, real justice. Outside the courthouse, Derek approached. Shaw tried to stop him. Derek pushed past. Lauren, please, don't do this. Give me one car. Just one. The Ferrari. I'm begging you. The judge made her ruling. It's over. I'll kill myself. I swear. If you take my cars, I'll drive off a bridge. Don't threaten suicide to manipulate me. If you're serious, get help. Call someone, but those cars are mine. Legally. Finally, you destroyed me. Are you happy? I didn't destroy you. You destroyed yourself. By stealing. By cheating. By being selfish and narcissistic. This is what consequences look like. I loved you. No, you loved my income, my stability, my willingness to enable your fantasy life. That's not love. That's parasitism. Goodbye, Derek. I walked away. Jennifer beside me. Tessa, waiting by the car. Behind me, Derek shouted. You're heartless. Cold. Boring. I was right about you. I didn't turn around. Didn't respond. Didn't care. He'd called me boring for 10 years. To justify using me. Stealing from me. Dismissing me. Now boring had won. Strategic had won. Evidence had won. And Derek had lost. Everything exactly what he deserved. 48 hours. That's what the judge gave Derek. 2 days to transfer titles. Surrender keys. Hand over his identity. He tried to stall. Called Jennifer. I need more time. To say goodbye. To take photos. You have 48 hours. That's court order. Comply or face contempt. Your choice. He complied. Barely. At the last possible moment. Thursday afternoon, 4 p.m., 47 hours and 53 minutes after the ruling, a tow truck arrived at Derek's storage facility. Court order. Sheriff's escort. Official. Unavoidable. Jennifer and I met them there. I didn't want to. Didn't want to see Derek's face, but Jennifer insisted. You need to witness the transfer. Document everything. Make sure he doesn't damage the vehicles out of spite. Derek was waiting, standing next to the cars. All three lined up, gleaming his babies. His life, about to be gone. He looked broken, unshaven, unwashed, hollow, a shell of the man I'd married. The sheriff approached. Mr. Mitchell, keys and titles. Now, Derek held them. Ferrari keys in one hand, Aston Martin and Porsche keys in the other. Titles in a folder. Shaking, please. One more day, just one. Sir, hand them over, or you'll be arrested for contempt. Derek looked at me. Lauren, please, don't do this. We can still fix. Give them the keys. Derek, he handed them over. The sheriff passed them to me. Heavy, real, final. I held 3 sets of keys, 3 titles, $850,000 worth of vehicles. Mine, legally, completely. Derek fell to his knees, crying, you took everything. Everything I am. Everything I worked for. You took my grandmother's legacy. I took equivalent value. That's justice. It's cruel. It's proportional. Goodbye, Derek. The tow truck loaded all 3 cars. Ferrari first, then Aston Martin, then Porsche. Derek watched, sobbing. The sheriff stayed close, making sure he didn't interfere. As the truck pulled away, Derek collapsed completely. Face in his hands, destroyed. I felt nothing. No satisfaction, no victory. Just cold acknowledgement. This was over. Finally, I sold all 3 cars within 2 weeks, through a luxury dealership in Wellesley. Consignment. They handled everything. The Ferrari sold first, $287,000, to a collector in Connecticut. The Aston Martin sold next, $234,000, to a businessman in New York. The Porsche took longest, but finally sold, $206,000, to a doctor in Rhode Island. Total proceeds, $727,000. After consignment fees, insurance, and transport costs, $712,000. Less than I'd hoped. More than Derek deserved. I used the money exactly as Nani intended. Real estate, investment property. Her dream, my dream. Cape Cod, waterfront, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, deck overlooking the ocean. Perfect. I'd found it 6 months ago. Before everything fell apart. Before Derek destroyed our marriage. The owner had taken it off the market. But when I called explained, I finally had funding they agreed to sell. Price, $680,000. I paid cash. No mortgage. No debt. Clean. Simple. Mine. The remaining $32,000 went to renovations. New deck. Updated kitchen. Fresh paint. Making it perfect. Rental ready. 3 months after the trial, the property was listed on Airbnb, VRBO, vacation rental sites. Summer rate, $4,000 a month. Off-season, $2,000. Average $36,000 annually. Expenses, property tax, insurance, maintenance, utilities. About $12,000 yearly. Net income, $24,000. Passive, reliable, building wealth. Exactly what Nani wanted. Exactly what I'd planned. Before Derek destroyed everything. Now rebuilt. Better, stronger, mine. The divorce finalized for months after trial. Standard waiting period. Massachusetts law. Derek didn't contest, didn't fight, had nothing left to fight with. No assets, no cars, no leverage. Just debt. Court costs, attorney fees, $21,000 owed to me. He paid in installments, $300 monthly, for 6 years, garnished from his paycheck. I didn't need the money. But I didn't waive it either. He owed it, he'd pay it. Accountability mattered. 6 months after the trial, life was different. Better, lighter. I still worked, still loved my job. Senior software architect, still earned $145,000. Still built systems, solved problems, created solutions. But now I had something else. Property, income, security, freedom, weekends. I drove to the Cape, stayed in my house, walked the beach, watched the ocean, breathed. No Derek, no drama, no stolen money, no lies. Just peace. Finally, Tessa visited on a Saturday. 6 months and 2 weeks post-trial. We sat on the deck, wine, sunset, perfect. This place is incredible. It's everything Nani wanted, everything I wanted. How do you feel? Really, good, free, like I finally have my life back. Like I'm living the dream I was supposed to live before Derek hijacked it. Do you ever think about him? Sometimes. Mostly I wonder how I didn't see it. How I spent 10 years enabling a narcissist. How I let him treat me like a bank account. You loved him. Love makes us blind. Love makes us stupid. I was stupid. For a decade. You're not stupid. You're loyal, faithful. Those are good things. He exploited them. That's not your fault. Maybe, but I'll never let it happen again. Never trust someone that completely. Never enable someone's fantasy life at the expense of my own reality. Have you dated? No, not ready. Maybe never. I'm good alone. Better alone. I have my work, my house, my peace. That's enough. What about Derek? Have you heard anything? No, and I don't want to. He's not my problem anymore. But Tessa had heard things. Through mutual friends. She told me. I listened. Curious despite myself. Derek moved to a cheaper apartment, Somerville, studio. $800 a month. No parking, no cars. He took the bus. The T walked. Like everyone else. No more Ferrari. No more status. No more identity. He still worked at the dealership. But barely. Performance issues. Attendance problems. Drinking. His boss was patient. But patience had limits. Sienna never came back. She'd moved to New York. New job. New life. New boyfriend. Posted on Instagram. Derek blocked, but mutual friends showed me. She looked happy, unbothered, moved on completely. Derek hadn't moved on. Couldn't his entire identity had been those cars? Without them, he didn't know who he was. I felt sorry for him. Briefly, then remembered. He'd stolen from me, humiliated me, called me boring, dismissed my grandmother's legacy as not real wealth. He'd made his choices. Now he lived with consequences. That was fair. That was just. 1 year after the trial, I hosted Thanksgiving at the Cape House. Tessa and Mark, a few friends from work, small, intimate, grateful. We cooked together. Turkey, stuffing, pie, laughed, talked, enjoyed. After dinner, Tessa and I walked the beach. Cold November, beautiful. This is your life now, she said. The one you were supposed to have. Yeah, it is. Are you happy? I think so. It's different than I imagined. Lonelier in some ways, but also freer. I'm not supporting anyone, not enabling anyone, not being used. That feels good. Do you regret the lawsuit? Taking the cars? No, never. He stole from me. I took back equivalent value. That's not revenge. That's restitution. He calls it cruel. I call it consequences. He's still bitter. I heard he tells people you destroyed his life. I didn't destroy his life. He destroyed his own life. By stealing, by cheating, by being selfish. I just held him accountable. If that destroyed him, he was already fragile. You're stronger than I realized. I'm exactly as strong as I needed to be. No more, no less. Derek underestimated me for 10 years. Thought I was boring, weak, accommodating. He was wrong. And now he knows it. 18 months after the trial, I received an email from Derek, first contact in over a year. Subject, I'm sorry, Body. Lauren, I know you don't want to hear from me, but I needed to say this. I'm sorry for everything. The stealing, the cheating, the lying, the way I treated you. You deserved better. You always did. I was selfish, narcissistic, cruel. You were right about all of it. I lost everything. My cars, my marriage, my self-respect, and it's my fault. All of it. I don't expect forgiveness. But I wanted you to know. I see it now, what I did, who I was, how much I hurt you. I'm sorry. I hope you're happy. I hope you got your house, your dream, the one your grandmother wanted for you. You deserved that. You deserve everything good. I'm sorry I tried to take it from you. I'm sorry I called you boring. You were never boring. You were stable, loyal, faithful, real. I was the boring one, shallow, empty. A man obsessed with status symbols and afraid of substance. I hope someday you can forgive me. Even if I can't forgive myself. Derek, I read it twice. Closed the laptop, sat there, silent. Tessa was visiting, saw my face. What's wrong? Derek emailed, apologized, said he's sorry for everything. Do you believe him? I think he believes he's sorry. Whether he actually is, I don't know. Narcissists apologize when they lose. When consequences arrive. But is it real remorse, or just self-pity? I can't tell. Are you going to respond? No. What would I say? I forgive you. I don't. Not yet. Maybe never. It's okay. It's not okay. It never was. He stole from me, betrayed me, humiliated me. An email doesn't fix that, so you'll just ignore it. Yes, he had his chance to apologize, when it mattered. When I confronted him, when I filed the lawsuit, when we were in court. He didn't. He fought, denied, blamed me, called me cruel. Now that he's lost everything, now he's sorry. Too late. I'm done. I deleted the email, blocked his address, closed that door, permanently. 2 years after the trial, I stood on my deck. Cape Cod, sunset, ocean, peace. The house had generated $48,000 in rental income over 2 years. After expenses, $28,000 profit, pure passive income, building wealth, honoring Nani. I'd never remarried, never dated, didn't need to. I was complete, whole, sufficient. Work was good. I'd gotten promoted. Principal software architect. More responsibility, more pay. $165,000 annually, plus rental income. I was financially secure, independent, free. Derek, I didn't know, didn't care. He'd faded into irrelevance, a cautionary tale, a lesson learned. Never again would I enable someone's fantasy at the expense of my reality. Never again would I subsidize someone's ego. Never again would I let someone call me boring for being responsible. Boring was stable. Boring was loyal. Boring was smart. Boring built wealth, planned futures, honored legacies. Flashy was Derek, spending $800,000 on hotels, buying cars he couldn't afford, chasing status, impressing strangers, building nothing, creating nothing, contributing nothing. He'd called me boring, middle class, insignificant, said my grandmother's money wasn't real wealth. He'd been wrong about everything. Real wealth wasn't hotels or cars or Instagram posts. Real wealth was this house, this view, this peace, this independence, this life built on my terms. Derek had nothing. No cars, no status, no identity, just debt and regret and bitter memories of what he'd lost. I had everything. Property, income, freedom, peace. A life that honored Nani. A dream realized, a future secured. Not because I was vindictive, because I was strategic, because I fought back, because I refused to be dismissed, because I held him accountable. Derek thought I was too boring to fight, too practical, too weak. He learned the hard way. Boring people keep receipts, build ironclad cases, win in court, take everything, and sleep peacefully at night. Because justice isn't cruel. It's necessary. Consequences aren't punishment. They're education. Derek got educated, expensively, publicly, permanently. And I got my grandmother's dream, my peace. That was justice. Real justice. Complete justice. And it was worth every moment of the fight. ... If you've ever been dismissed as boring for being responsible, you're not alone. Subscribe for more stories about strategic justice, and drop a comment. Have you ever dealt with financial betrayal? Your experience might help someone else.